Independence Horse Race Meets Sunday, May 25th at the Port Moran Turf Club. Come and witness Guyana's top horses in action, including 2023 Horse of the Year Spankers and 2024 Horse of the Year Olympic Kremlin, competing for over $10 million in cash and prizes. Starting time 12 midday. It's the Grand Independence Horse Race Meets. This event is powered by AJM, Jumbo Jet, J Supermarket, She Oil, and KP Jack Deal.
So it's a very good evening and welcome to Talking Thoroughbred Racing. I'm track announcer John Rupert here live from Pixel Perfect Productions. Thank you for viewing here this Saturday evening. We're live on YouTube as well as the Facebook page, and we're going to be talking Thoroughbred Racing tonight. We have the Independence Cup race meet coming up next Sunday on the 25th of May. And the venue will be at Port Morant Turf Club in Quarantine Berbice, and make plans to join us next Sunday for that mega event. Of course, we knew what happened last month with Mother Nature taking away all our excitement with the cancellation of the Easter Cup. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on the program. So I was at Port Morant earlier today, and I was able to do a capsule report for you. So take a look at this and tell me what you think with this report earlier this morning at Port Morant. Independence Cup race day meet scheduled to be off next Sunday on the 25th of May, the Independence Day holiday weekend here in the Republic of Guyana. And Jay's Racing Stable are the sole promoters of this upcoming event in conjunction with Jumbo Jet Racing Stables as well as KP Jagdio General Construction Limited and She Oil as well, together with AJM and Jay's Supermarket. So it promises to be an exciting day of racing. An 8-race card is planned, and the featured event will be the $2 million 1-mile Independence Cup to be run here. It's an 8-race card with a scheduled post time of 12 noon. So make plans to join us out here in 8 days' time for the Independence Cup race day meet. So take a look in the back right now. As you can see, we're here on the track here, taking a capsule report of what's going on. Now, we had some rain during the week, but I have spoken to a few horsemen here stabled at the track, and they're telling me that the inside looks pretty good and that this water will definitely be able to run off very, very quickly. Any amount of additional rainfall, well, then we're going to get ourselves into some problems. But as it stands right now, we're expecting a great day of racing come next Sunday. Entries for the event will close this coming Thursday, the 22nd of May. So make plans to enter your horses. Those of you, provisional program is out, and make plans to join us. Racing fans, come out in your numbers and support it. The Independence Cup race day meet live at the Port Morant Turf Club next Sunday, the 25th of May. See you then. Captured this morning at the Port Morant Turf Club, as you can see with that segment there that I put together for you this morning, that we're very excited for this upcoming event here hosted by Triple J Promotions. And the Independence Cup meet has a first prize of $2 million, and we are all anticipating the return of Horse of the Year Olympic Kremlin. He is going to be in action in the Independence Cup, going 1,600 meters on the main track there at Port Morant. And of course, whenever Olympic Kremlin graces the track, he's going to bring a lot of fans there as well. First race post time is scheduled to go off at 12 noon. So make plans to join us very early on track to witness the Independence Cup race meet. Again, it will be hosted by the Port Morant Turf Club here. 8 races put together, and again, it is promoted by Triple J Promotions. Now, of course, I know you want to know about how the track surface is looking. Well, we got that covered for you as well. We're there again this morning at Port Morant, and we have some aerial view, some drone footage for you of the track. Take a look. So this is the footage right now as we sent up the drone earlier this morning. Now, this was just after the 7 o'clock hour this morning, and you can see here that the inside looks pretty okay here. Most of the water is basically centered in the middle and so much on the outside of the surface. And this was, of course, the rainfall that took place earlier in the week. Again, that was 7 o'clock this morning. We had a ray of sunshine for the rest of the afternoon today after myself and the crew left the Port Morant Turf Club. But you're looking at the aerial shot here as we're going right up to the home stretch right now. We just passed the 9 furlong start, and you can see how wide this track is. Port Morant being one of the finest tracks here in Guyana, and will be the home for the Independence Cup meet coming up next Sunday. Port Morant will also host the second leg of the upcoming Triple Crown Series. We come back to Port Morant in July for that event. So this is what it looks like here with the aerial shot, and as you can see, as we get closer to exit the home stretch and go towards the far turn on the back stretch, here's the 2 furlong pole, and of course this drone shot's now making the turn. You can see how much water has been settled on the inside of the track, and I think that is basically where the promoters are a bit worrisome because of the parking, because last month we had some problems there with the infield being totally drenched with those dung poles here. We just went by the 3 furlong pole, and now we're heading towards the back stretch there. On Sunday, next Sunday, we're going to have at least 5 of those horses going to 5 of the races going over the 6 furlong start. So this is on the back stretch here. Total different picture you're seeing here. You're hardly seeing any sort of water here on the track itself, especially on the back stretch. So it pretty much sees that the back stretch is not getting as much water as on the home stretch here. So it looks pretty level and sealed on the back stretch there at Port Morant. Of course, this is the perfect footage we're getting here from Pixel Perfect Productions as we continue our journey on that back stretch. And of course, we're going in the opposite direction. You can see how much of the water that has really dried off on the back stretch. Of course, you're seeing on the infield there where the water will take some time to run off there from the infield there. You can see there are 2 sorts of canals in the infield there that is accumulating all of the rainfall there. So we're now about to exit the backstretch, and we're going into the turn now as we head towards the 1 mile start. That is where the Independence Cup will run from. The 1 mile start. This is the 7 furlong pole we're just going by here, and you can see the auxiliary gate up in the distance is parked where the 1 mile start will have the Independence Cup race. That is where it will start there. So this definitely could give you an indication of what's happening. Now remember, this was earlier today. We're still 8 days out from the upcoming event. So again, as I mentioned in the intro, any additional rainfall may be a cause for concern in that regard. However, remember, it's the Independence Cup weekend, so we do have, if possible, we do have the Monday the 26th, which is going to be a holiday here in Guyana, as an option, as a worst case scenario option. But we're not thinking like that. You understand? We're saying our prayers and we're hoping that Mother Nature goes away next weekend for us to enjoy some live horse racing here in Guyana. We haven't raced since the Kennard meet back in March, and I know a lot of you punters are really thirsting and wanting to see those horses get in action. Further to that, this is going to be the final prep before we kick off our Triple Crown Series. Now remember, the first leg begins next month on Father's Day, June 15th. We will be at the Bushlot United Turf Club to kick off the Triple Crown Series for the 3-year-olds. So this is the final prep for all stakeholders to get their 3-year-olds sharpened up and ready for the upcoming series, which again begins next month in June. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We have some bills to pay, and when we come back, I'm going to show you some workouts that we picked up earlier this morning at the Portmorant Turf Club. Stay tuned.
What to cook?
Enjoy your guilty pleasures without adding the bad things to your body using Salad Special Cooking Oil with 0 cholesterol and 100% soybean oil. Use it for frying, baking, and even dress your salads. Plus, it gives you an array of incredible health benefits too. It's an excellent source of proteins, essential fats, and abundant with good unsaturated omega-3 and omega-3 fatty acids. Plus, it's rich in vitamins E and K. So switch to salad oil because food is happiness and it's meant to be enjoyed. Available in 900 milliliter, 3 liter, and 5 liter, and distributed by Jay's Supermarket.
Pixel Perfect Productions studio, and as you just saw there, we want to thank Jay's Racing Stable, Jay's Supermarket. They are our promoters for this upcoming Independence Cup meet, which will take place in 8 days' time next Sunday at the Portmorant Turf Club. Again, first race post time is at 12 noon. Make plans to join us early for that Super Sunday action and the return of Olympic Kremlin in the Independence Cup. As I mentioned, we have some workouts that we picked up earlier this morning at the Portmorant Turf Club. So let's roll the footage here as we go through those workouts that we picked up earlier this morning. So this here we are seeing is Amazing Sparks, and that is Nicholas Patrick on board. This is from trainer Randolph Gray's stable, a 3-year-old, a potential probable that we should be seeing in action. Definitely one to look out for in the Triple Crown series coming up. Amazing Sparks here. There she is, coming back after her workout in that particular run this morning. And then here we are seeing the USA bred Adios Baby to the front, and right behind is Winner Circle. Those two horses there also doing a workout this morning. We captured them going into the first turn. Again, the USA bred Adios Baby. Here now is Raging Bull, who just went by there. Now, his name was changed. He was formerly called Hammer Nike and now Raging Bull. Here is the AGM Stakes winner, Rough Time. We got a close-up of him coming out of the boogie. And this is trainer Sita Hal Samaru holding the AGM Stakes winner, Rough Time there. There he is, yeah. Definitely not camera shy, is Rough Time. And yeah, what a performance he had. And here he is. Rough Time. We're picking him up here going into the first turn as he is also getting sharpened up for his next assignment as well. We also got a close-up shot of one of the stalwarts in Guyana. This is Wild Texas Tom, and connections have told me that he is expected to make his return in August on Guyana Cup Day. So take a look at him there, Wild Texas Tom, the USA bred. And again, connections have said that he has really changed up from what he has been from before, and we were able to get a quick close-up zoom shot of him here this morning. So look out for him in August, Wild Texas Tom, as he is being sharpened up to make his return to the races there. So that was just a look at some of the horses that we picked up earlier this morning at the Portmorant Turf Club. Again, I'm here all week long, and I will be visiting Rising Sun as well as Bushlot United to see how much more I can pick up as we continue to build up towards the Independence Cup coming up next Sunday. We're going to have another program here next week, Saturday, live on Pixel Perfect Productions, and at that time we should have the final program in hand. Remember, entries will close this coming Thursday, the 22nd of May. Speaking of which, the provisional program has been out for a couple of weeks. Take a look for those of you who did not get a chance to see the provisional program. And here it is. So let's go through it here. It is the Independence Cup horse race meet presented by Triple J Promotions, Sunday, May 25th. And as you can see, there's 8 races put together by the promoters. and the Independence Cup being the Stakes Sunday feature. It's a $2 million first prize to the winner. Again, Olympic Kremlin makes his return in the Independence Cup going a mile. We haven't seen him since he won the Showdown of Champions on December the 15th. The second race listed on the provisional program is the 3-year-old open event for Guyana and West Indian bred horses, and this is going to be a very key event. So I want you all to pay attention closely to that event, because these are the horses that will be moving forward as we get ready to kick off our Triple Crown series. And again, it begins next month, June 15th, the first leg at Bushlot United. Then we head to Port Morant on July 6th for the second leg, and then the Guyana Derby will be the third and final leg of that Triple Crown series. Let's get back to that provisional program as we continue there. So it's a 1 mile event with a $500,000 first prize. And as you can see to the right hand side of the screen, there is an incentive put in by the promoters. In red, 20% deduction for Guyana bred horses taking entry. So clearly what that means is any Guyana bred horse that enters that race gets a 20% reduction in their entry fee. So that is an incentive, and we want to thank Triple J Promotions for putting in that incentive for all you Guyana owners who have Guyana bred 3-year-olds and wanting to take on the West Indian bred horses in that particular event, going a mile. And definitely that promises to be one of the most exciting races on the Sunday card. I believe that's going to be the second feature event behind the Independence Cup, where we're all coming to view Olympic Kremlin. Let's take a look at race 3 now, the E-Class and lower, going 1,200 meters. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of an addition there. It's going to include Brazilian bred first-time starters. And if you have not known, as of late, Guyana has been allocating a lot of Brazilian bred horses coming into the country. So this promises to be very exciting, mouth-watering, and eye-openers to find out what Brazilian bred horses we will be seeing starting for the first time in that E-Class and low. It's going to go over a distance of 1,200 meters with a $500,000 prize in that one. Then in the fourth race, the G-Class and lower, that is over a mile. The fifth race is the H-Class non-winners since September 2024. And the G and K class is over 1,600 meters. We have the J3 and lower, and that is for 3-year-old non-starters, and the L class and open. So that's a look at the provisional program. I'm going to show you the probables now. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back up the Easter Cup card that did not take place due to the cancellation of the weather. And right now you can see here on the screen. Now this is the L class event that would have been race 1 back in April. And as you can see here, these are going to be the probables of horses entering in the L class event coming up on May 25th. We have Lionheart 3D movie. We have Get Them Bobby, as well as we're going up to the screen there. Lionheart 3D movie and a Quiet Warrior and Private Dance 2. Now those are just some of the probables in the L class event, which is definitely going to be one of those events kicking off on the program on Sunday. Looking ahead to the second one now, the J3 and lower. Now this event attracted a good decent field of some 13 runners, and again it's going to be probables in this one. We have I Will Have Another, we have Silence Secret, we have Top of the Cloud, there is World Boss, there is Money Jet, Jet Mode from the Jumbo Jet Racing Stables. I'm going to look out for that one. A probable Sunny, Storm Cat, Winner Circle, who you saw in our earlier segment doing a workout as well. Then there is Shady Jr., Kiss, Princess Emily on Flight, and Starlight. So those are the probables there in the J3 and lower maiden event. The third race now is the H class, and this H class here, these are some of the probables that will be or could take place when we see what happens on entry day on Thursday. We're seeing Money Time, still to be confirmed. She WBO on time. Then there is Here Comes Heidi. Also a probable Forza Baby, that was last year's Guyana Derby winner. Country Rock, Princess Aria, which was Soca Synergy, Sex Appeal, and Emotional Damage, and Atta Girl Sylvie. Those are going to be the probables there for the age class. All right, we're going to take a quick break to pay for all we are looking at, and when we come back, we will continue with that provisional program as we get ready for the Independence Cup race day meet. Stay tuned. Will you tell me I want food?
Milk is made from all natural ingredients, perfect for baking into cakes and sweets. Plus, use it straight from the tin for a timeless classic, something just about anyone will enjoy. So share the food, share the culture, share the love with Victoria Sweetened Condensed Milk, available in 380-gram tins and distributed by Jay's Supermarket.
Welcome back to Talking Thoroughbred Racing, and thanks for staying with us here on the YouTube channel of Pixel Perfect Productions, as well as their Facebook page. And you're viewing the Talking Thoroughbred Racing segment. This is just part one. We'll be on again next week, Saturday, as we build up to the Independence Cup race day meet. Again, it's 8 days away on May 25th, hosted by the Port Morant Turf Club, and it is promoted by Triple J Promotions. Let's get back right now to the card, as we are seeing race number 4 on that, which is the E-Class event. This looks to be very interesting here. The Full Liberty is one of those Brazilian bred horses that I was talking about in that coming over from Brazil. So this could be a probable in the E-Class event. Now this is a non-winners E-Class event, and this would have been over a distance of 1,200 meters. We're expecting that. Then there's El Tarzan making a return to racing, comes from the Slingers Racing Stable. And what a season Slingers had in 2024. They're expecting big things to come from them. Moving on, we're seeing Barbara. This is coming to us from the Champion Owner Stable, Jumbo Jet Racing Stable. Barbara, a USA mare, 6 years of age. And we're expecting to see Barbara make her first start here in Guyana. Then we're looking at potential probable, or V, the son of Constitution in the E-Class. And then there is Storm Dancer, the Canadian bred from the Nanpasad Racing Stable. Moving on to the next event, which would be the G-Class event, and some of the probables in the G-Class that could take entry. Remember, this is just a probable segment. I'm just making an assumption. We don't know what you, the stakeholder, will decide come Thursday. We're seeing Angry Bird, who is on a hat-trick trail. Then there is the Speedy Red Ruby and stablemate Theory of Colors, which was entered for the G-Class. Going up the page here, we're seeing the Trinidad-bred Devindra, who's expected to make a good run at Port Morant. Then there is Blinding Lights, the Jamaican-bred American Traveler. He's been in good form, a winner last time out. And the TNT-bred Amicable Kate as well. Next on the listing is the 3-year-old Open. And remember, like I mentioned, there is an incentive of a 20% deduction to Guyana-bred horses that take entry into this event. And here are some of the potential probables. We're seeing Spank Me, Irish Eyes. That was last year's 2-year-old champ. Then there's Raging Bull. You saw a workout from him earlier today at Port Morant. I showed you that earlier in the show. Looking up the page, we're seeing Mulan. A lot is expected from this 3-year-old maiden Mulan, a Trinidad-bred daughter of This One's for Run, a former Horse of the Year in Trinidad. Then there is Princess Zanaya, a first-time starter from the Big G Racing Stables. And Amazing Sparks, who you saw from the Randolph Gray Stable. You saw her workout as well. We were able to capture her this morning. Again, pay attention to that race and that event of the 3-year-olds, because those are the horses that will be headlining our upcoming Triple Crown series as we journey towards the Guyana Derby. Now this here would have been the Easter Cup that did not take place. Now it's going to be called the Independence Cup. And these are the horses here. Now we know Olympic Kremlin has been confirmed to take part in the Independence Cup, but his challengers, we don't know. These are the probables that may or may not take on Olympic Kremlin now, because with that extra month off between not running here on April 21st and now shifting to the May 25th card, let's take a look at his challengers here. We have Mapa do Brazil, we have Loyal Company, then there's the much talked about Anthem King, the son of Bolt de Oro, from the Jumbo Jet stables. A lot is expected from Anthem King. Looking up the page now, we're seeing Spankhurst, the 2023 Horse of the Year. Then there is John Bull, another Brazilian invader, Regal Man, who will be having his first start in Guyana. Much excited to see what Regal Man could do. Then there is a Frontline Warrior. Then there's a Stormy Victory, the Pagua Cup winner back in March. Then there is the ever consistent and queen of Guyana, Borsalina. It's a probable. We'll see if Borsalina will be able to take her place in the Independence Cup. And then there's Return of Vince Story. He has been knocking on the door, and I'm expecting a big performance when this horse runs again. So put him down on your to-watch list, Return of Vince Story. He made such a big run, finishing second in the Pagua Cup back in March. And then there is Beckham James, the 7-year-old gelding from the Nan Passad stable. So those are going to be the probables. We could see somebody new entering the Independence Cup, but those are the probables that may enter and challenge Olympic Kremlin for the Independence Cup. The final race we will look at is the J&K class event, and this promises to be a very wide open event next Sunday. And here are some of the probables that could take part in the J&K class. We have Haley, then there is Risky Affairs, there is Princess Sasha, the return of GT Boss, and as we go up the page there's Coco and Saka, and as well as Riverdance 2 and Ben Laden. That is the J&K class event. We'll definitely look out for that. So again, we're just making assumptions here. We do not know. It's 8 days out. Again, there's a lot still to be put forward on the table. How is the weather going to play out for the coming days? We're going to visit Port Morant again later on this week for another capsule report, which I will bring to you again when we meet here again next Saturday live here on Pixel Perfect Productions. So the weather is going to play an important part in the upcoming event. Again, remember, we're playing with 2 days. We have the Sunday card, but in the event we see unforeseen circumstances, if it is the objective of the promoter, Monday could be an option. So we're looking at that. We're going to try our utmost best to try to get races off and running. I know that the May-June month here in Guyana, May and June, rainy. But if you look back at last year we were able to run the Easter Cup, and then May and June we were sidelined by some rainy weather. This year it looks like it's reversed. We did not get a chance to run in April, and hopefully we could get the races run off here in the month of May. I know a lot of you stakeholders are looking forward to live racing back in Guyana as we build towards the Guyana Cup. Legislation has been recently passed. Did you take a look at the articles? Jumbo Jet Racing Stables, they have increased the Guyana Cup purse to some 50 million Guyana dollars. The Guyana Cup promises to be very exciting coming up in August, or potential early start of an 11 race program. There are some upgrades being done at Rising Sun Turf Club, so hence the reason why the May month program has been shifted to the Port Morant Turf Club. So a lot of things is happening here as we head into the second half of 2025. Remember, half the year almost completed as we head towards June month next month here, and I think things are really going to pick up here in Guyana in terms of horse racing. So I know all you racing fans are thirsting for it, you're wanting for it, and we're going to make our utmost best to get races off and running on May 25th. Again, the weather is our biggest challenge. That is something we cannot control, but definitely stick with us and you will see the excitement. Again, I'm reminding you, don't forget, final entries close this coming Thursday. Be sure to enter your horses. You know the respective avenues that you have to enter your horses. I showed you the provisional program. You know where your horses are, what particular class they are in. You saw the prize money. Make sure you get your jockeys on board as well and make plans to join us again next Sunday, May 25th, Port Morant Turf Club. All roads will lead to that venue as Guyana celebrates its Independence Day weekend and the Independence Cup featuring the return of Olympic Kremlin. So thank you for tuning in, all you Facebook fans and all you YouTubers. Until next week, Saturday, we will have the final program in hand and we will get closer. Again, later on this week, I will visit the Bushlot Turf Club. I will visit Rising Sun Turf Club. I'll see how much information I could bring to you next week when we meet in terms of workouts. I'll see how much interviews. I could speak to some promoters as well as some trainers, some jockeys, some grooms, and we'll see how this event will continue to build. Until next time, from all of us here on the Talking Thoroughbred Racing segment, this is John Rupert saying thank you and good night.
Presents a grand Independence horse race meet Sunday, May 25th at the Port Moran Turf Club. Come and witness Guyana's top horses in action, including 2023 Horse of the Year Spankers and 2024 Horse of the Year Olympic Kremlin, competing for over $10 million in cash and prizes. Starting time 12 midday. It's the grand Independence horse race meet. This event is powered by AJF, Jumbo Jet, J Supermarket, She Oil, and KP Jack Deal.